Welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Rich Walsh alongside Ron Cook, and we're taking your phone calls tonight on the Borders and Borders Hotline, 412-575-2600. Before we take those calls, make sure you call Ireland Contracting if you need any kind of work done to your house, roof, siding, gutters, windows, anything you need. They're #1 in Pittsburgh. 1-800-NEW ROOF is their number, so give them a call. Ron, let's go out to the phone lines here, and we're going to talk about, we're going to go out to Mike out in Oakland. What's up, Mike?
Hey, Richie. What's up, man? What's up, Ron? How you doing?
Hey, thanks for calling.
No problem. Listen, so about the Penguins, I want to just kind of expand on what you said. I'm sorry, but I think the trade for this guy, Pearson, whatever his name is, for Hagelin, well, he was terrible. I mean, I think that was a reactionary trade. I don't see how it made this team better because, as Ron said, we lost the speed, the main guy that gives us speed because, you know, Sherry's gone, as I mentioned yesterday.
Yeah.
So we're left with nobody. I mean, that's really that fast. This guy was even worse than Hagelin on the year.
And a guy that can help on the PK, too. I mean, that's where I think Hagelin was at his best.
And he also was a big game player. He picked up his game in the playoffs.
I know. That's why.
You think back, obviously, to the HBK line the first Cup year, and he hasn't been as good since then, but I thought he still was pretty serviceable in the playoffs.
Yeah, you know, Rutherford needed to do something, you know, to shake things up. And
well, but remember I mentioned, did he really with Brassard hurt? I think, again, you can look at the record. Once Brassard got injured, the team started on a free fall. I think he was a big part of what was making this team go this year. He wasn't really good in the playoffs last year. I think he got a fresh start this year. He went down the same. I don't think they should have done this at least till mid-December. Wait till Brassard comes back, sees a few games. But as you mentioned real briefly about Murray, I'm sorry. He hasn't been big since the second Stanley Cup. He was terrible last year. He's still giving up 4 or 5 goals a game. I don't think he knows what a big save is anymore. And I think that, honestly, DeSmith, it wouldn't surprise me if DeSmith surpasses him within a few weeks to a month as the starting goalie, because if Murray had a week or two off, he's still giving up 4 goals a game.
Well,
so
you know, a couple of them. I mean, I'm not blaming him on the 5-on-3s tonight. Those were almost impossible to stop. And I haven't seen anything from Brassard. I didn't see much from him earlier in the year. I almost forgot about him because he hardly ever plays.
And he hasn't played in a while. I mean, who would you
now
trade?
I guess he's skating, and you know, he's going to be back soon. Hopefully, maybe he will make a difference. But he hasn't shown me anything yet. I don't think he's been a good fit here for whatever reason.
Rutherford obviously has a better pulse on his team than any one of us. But I mean, who would you have traded? Like who? I mean, who? Like I'm wondering, one of these guys in here. If you want to, you got to shake some things up. They're going through one of their worst streaks that I can remember.
7 out of 8. Yeah. I mean, the only other guy that I think would bring you back something is Mata. I mean, are you going to get much for Sheehan? I don't think so.
No.
You know, Sprong obviously is the easy guy to say is going to be traded because the coach clearly doesn't have a lot of confidence in him. I don't know who else you're going to trade. You're not going to trade any of the big guys, and I don't think any of the other guys are going to bring you much back.
Yeah, and they lost speed too, and maybe that's the biggest thing that I'm scratching my head. This is a team that wants to be fast, and they lost their fastest guy on the team. And, you know, you see a lot of other teams out there that are now faster than them and using the same blueprint that the Penguins did, and they lost their fastest guy.
They're getting older. I mean, these guys are on the other side of 30 now. And I'm not saying Crosby is not still a great player, but I don't think he's going up, up, and up. He's trying to maintain. Malkin the same way. It's no one beats time. And, I mean, you wonder how long they're going to be able to be world class. I think they still are. I don't think they have a lot of help. Sid's been great, but how much better is he going to be? I mean, I think the window's open for a while, but Murray, if he doesn't play better, that to me, he's the #1 key now.
I think that too, and let's not forget about Tristan Jarry too.
They scored a goal last night.
Scored a goal. So
how about that?
All right, let's go back out to the phone lines. We're going to go out to Tim out in McKeesport. What's up, Tim?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, thanks for calling.
Two different things. You know, Murray, we got spoiled with Fleury. Why does everybody think our goalie's going to be here for 10 or 15 years? When a new goalie comes in the league, you don't know his weak spots. He gets figured out. I think Murray got figured out the last playoffs. Does anybody remember Patrick Lalime? 23 games in a row he won. Then he's out of hockey 2 or 3 years later. Maybe Murray's a guy that's going to be in the NHL for 4 or 5 years, and that's it.
But, Tim, you know, Ron, this is a guy that Mike Sullivan loved. They said he was fundamentally better. This is Mike Sullivan's guy. He saw something in Murray that made him start him over Fleury.
We saw him lift 2 Stanley Cups.
Yes, yeah.
As technically as a rookie. He was a rookie both years. You know, a 21-year-old kid, I'm not going to think he's going to be out of the league in 4 years. I think he's just going through a rough patch now. I saw him play that Western Canada trip, Toronto. That game, he was just outstanding. I mean, he's had his moments this year. I don't think the league has figured him out. I don't think he got a lot of help tonight again, but it's okay to make a big save every now and then. He's got to play better. There's no question.
Mike brought up he didn't play well last year, and I agree, but he had a lot on his mind. I mean, his father passed away.
He had injuries.
You know, I know that from experience. You know, you could be a head case for a long time, and I want to give last year a pass for him. I think he's a big game goalie.
I can't look past 2 Stanley Cups in 2 years. I can't.
I think he's a guy that might need some help throughout the regular season, but when it comes playoff time, I want to think a big game goalie.
I think so too, but he's got to start playing like it.
All right, back out to the phone lines. We're going to switch gears, and we're going to go out to Barry out in Penn Hills. What's up, Barry?
Hey, guys, how you doing this evening?
Good, thanks for calling.
Well, I want to talk about the Steeler game. I don't know. I'm getting a little nervous. I know Jacksonville's lost 5 in a row, and there seem to be in chaos over there, but they have our number. There's always a team or two in every sport that seems to have another team's number, and I don't know.
Well, they had their number last year. You know, I mean.
Well, they had their number last year, but they still have most of the same team back. So it's not like this is 5 years later. I mean, I think.
Yeah. It's funny. It's funny you mentioned the phrase "have their number" because I think Keith Butler mentioned it today. He said, "I don't want to say Fournette has our number, but he's really played well against us." Fournette just killed him last year, but they're doing a much better job stopping the run as of late. The numbers are just astronomical. How much this defense has improved from the first 4 games of the year. It's almost like 130 yards a game less on average. It's amazing. I wrote about this for Sunday's Post-Gazette. The run is down, the passing yards are down, the total yards are down. I like to think they're going to play better than they did last year against Jacksonville. I don't think Bortles should be able to tear them apart like he did in the playoff game. If he does, shame on them. Bortles stinks.
Yeah, I think so,
too. He was benched for Cody Kessler earlier this season.
This is a Steelers team that has something to prove, I think, too, after what happened to them last year. Favored in 2 games. And just outplayed in both games, really.
There's no doubt. And Butler said today, you know, you don't ever. He said, beat the stew out of us. He said, you don't get over those games. Well, all you can do is try to play better in the next one.
Well, the Steelers
we'll see Sunday.
The Steelers are a 5-point favorite. I didn't realize that line would be that high. I thought it'd be much closer.
Jacksonville's been in disarray. They traded Fowler, one of their top pass rushers. Fournette's just now getting back. He played last week. I'm assuming he'll be better this week. And Bortles is Bortles. Not very good.
All right, we got to take a break. Back with more of your phone calls. Some of your tweets coming up next. Stay right there.